Welcome to the next framework of building a seven-figure company. In today's video, we're going to be talking about framework number 3, which is marketing and sales. And in today's video, got a game-changing lesson for you where we're going to dive in detail on strategic marketing inside your business. A lot of people, when they market, they just market. We're going to talk about how to market strategically. And with that being said, let's jump into it. So before we go over the exact takeaways I want to cover in here, I want to bring up a very common misconception that I want you to go with as you go through this video. And it's the buzzword called omnipresent marketing. You ever heard of it? It's thrown out around a lot, but essentially in this video, I'm going to break down the myths and unveil the truths and guide you towards a focused strategy that can truly transform your approach. So first things first, let's just talk about what actually is omnipresent marketing. So the idea of being omnipresent is being everywhere and anywhere at the same time. And thanks to our favorite Mr. Uncle G, Grant Cardone, he's kind of pushed this out in the world a lot, saying, hey, you got to be everywhere. You got to do everything 10x. And while I agree with a lot of things he says, I think the whole idea of omnipresent marketing is a huge myth. And I'll explain a little bit more of that in a second. But I think the biggest thing behind it is you do want to be everywhere, but you can't be everywhere when you're first getting started. If you're trying to be everywhere when you're first starting marketing, let's say you're doing Facebook groups, you're doing LinkedIn, you're doing cold email, you're doing Instagram, you're doing YouTube. Basically, what you're doing is you're just doing a bunch of different lead generation. And instead, you need to focus on client acquisition. And the best way to focus on client acquisition is build one client acquisition system and then add other lead generation sources to it. And that's where I think the whole idea of omnipresent marketing is a little bit of a myth, because also Grant Cardone's talking to, he's like, you got to be everywhere. But also the reason he's everywhere is he's not everywhere. His team is making him everywhere. And it costs money to have a big marketing team, and not everybody has a big marketing team unless you're doing over $1 million a month, right? Now, again, depending on where you're at, your margins, everybody's different. For me in my business, we're doing multiple 6 figures a month, and I am the marketing team as far as running ads. Now, I do have somebody that's like managing my Instagram that I paid to do that, but we're slowly starting to add out. And the reason I really want to hit this home is you can build your business to 6 figures a month, multiple 6 figures a month with one channel first. And that's why I really want you to focus on is the principle of not being omnipresent at first. So as we go through that, I want to jump into the power of focus, because the truth is you're just going to be spreading yourself too thin across all these platforms. Like I mentioned, you need to be strategic. And my personal journey is proof of this. I fell into this omnipresent trap when I first started growing my business because I took the Grant Cardone advice. And we never, like the businesses at that time, they hit a cap. We never got over 20, 30K a month. And that's what I'm wanting to help you do, is scale from 20 to 30K a month. And the best thing I did was just simplify a lot of things and just focus on building one client acquisition system rather than all these different lead generation strategies. So I want you to picture this: putting all of your eggs in one basket. It sounds risky, right? But here's the twist. It's a calculated risk. When you devote all of your energy and time into one thing, it pays off, because if you're going all in one thing, it makes it a lot easier to perfect that and perfect all the problems rather than have 10 other problems in 10 different variables, right? So as I mentioned before, I put this as a little bit of a note in here. I'm kind of trying to do this more of like a free ball rather than just reading off of a document, because I think that's the way that it's better to be taught. But as I mentioned, we're doing literally over 200K a month just from my Instagram funnel. And that's why, now you're seeing me on YouTube, because we perfected this funnel inside my business for a little over a year. And now that's perfected, we did put all those eggs in one basket. Now we're deviating into other strategies, but you're not going to see me go from Instagram and then add YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, all these other things. You'll see me do one at a time. And as I do one, I perfect it and then move on to the next one, where a lot of people just mess up and they try to do a half-ass job on one thing. So my biggest advice and the biggest mistake I see a lot of people do is they try to do everything. And when you try putting all of your eggs in one basket, you're going to mess up quite a bit, to be honest with you. But that's good, because as if you watch the previous video, we talk about the more problems you can solve, the bigger the paycheck you get. So I want to encourage you to be happy when you have problems. Now, here's the secret that a lot of coaches and a lot of people won't tell you, because we live in a world, especially in marketing, where it's like, hey, my strategy is the best. These other strategies don't work. And I'm sure you've seen those ads. I mean, to be honest with you, I've even ran ads like that because it's a good marketing angle. But here's the real catch: YouTube ads, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Twitter ads, Facebook group ads, they all work. But not everybody's going to tell you that. And here's a real catch behind it: is success isn't immediate. And that's where a lot of people mess up on this, is they think if they're going to try something, if it doesn't work within the first week, month, 2 or 3 months, that they're just gonna quit and say, well, this is it. I've tried it. I've tried every angle possible and it doesn't work. I get people saying that all the time. And it's literally the ones that are in the get rich quick scheme. You got to think about it. You're building a legit business. It's not going to happen overnight. So again, the thing that I always say, and what I want you to walk away with, one of the big things I want you to walk away with this in the lesson, and then I'll go into a little bit more detail about like how to do this and how we do it. But seek more problems. The bigger the problems you solve, the bigger the paycheck you get. I like problems. This is what I kept telling myself when I started my business. We just kept running into so many problems, and I changed my perspective of, okay, I like problems. The more problems I get, the more money I'm going to make and the more people I can help out. Now, let's jump right into what I believe is the gold mine, and I call this the Instagram funnel. What's working really well for my company, and what I mentioned that we're doing over 200K a month just on one client acquisition system, is by turning your Instagram profile into a funnel and then running ads to get more leads through there. Specifically, what we do is Instagram DM ads. And if you're new to my channel, feel free to check out some of my previous videos where I walk in more detail about how all of this works. But I'm going to show you an overview here in a second of like how it works. But just know there's more information on my other videos as well if you want to check it. Which, if you haven't yet, you got to hit that subscribe button. We're just dropping value every single week, and we're being very consistent with it. So, as I mentioned, this is where the real magic happens. You're not just posting pictures. You're strategically guiding your audience down a conversion path. And this is what it essentially looks like. Now, let me pull this up and kind of walk you through the 1,000-foot overview of this. Now, this is the funnel that we help our clients install inside their business. Once you work with us inside my company, you basically franchise what we personally test hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars on at this point to perfect. And we've kept it pretty simple. So you have over here your traffic source. So you can see IG ads is yellow. That's the bread and butter. Now from there, you're going to have someone DM you a specific word for a lead magnet or a direct to offer. And based off that, let's just say hypothetically the keyword is 50K. Well, from there, what's going to happen is we have a bot that comes through right at the time of this video. We're using ManyChat as a bot to collect their email and then send them whatever that information is. All that gets zapped into the backend CRM, where we have a nurture sequence through emails, and our team goes through there. And I'll cover more of that later, but basically everything has a workflow. So for example, if you did send them something where they had an email, or when they had a free mini course, they had to sign up for the mini course, and then they're into a workflow where they're getting nurtured. From there, a lot of this just goes down in the DMs, and we're averaging about 10 booked appointments a day off of $1,000 in ad spend through this. And again, that varies. So let me be very strict with that. If you want to see another video with like our actual data and numbers, just let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to share that. I'm an open book, but just based off yesterday, I believe we had we actually had 12. We had 13 people come through, and we canceled 3 of them, just off of this strategy. And these are highly qualified individuals. Like we cancel a lot of applications, to be honest with you. But anyways, we have a conversation in the DMs right here, and we give them an application to fill out to book a call. And based off all of this, if everyone falls off in the process at some point, if they fall out in the application or in the DMs, we just put them into like either a retargeting campaign, or we put them into a workflow based off where they're at. And then, based off the book call, we then send them a page with more information. We have something called the 6-hour rule of content, where we try to give our new prospects, again, cold audience, 6 hours worth of content as fast as we possibly can to warm them up. And there's a bunch of other workflows underneath here. I'm not going to go in that detail, but basically here, there's really 3 options, you guys. Is either they become a client, awesome, start the onboarding process, remove the tags, put them into the onboarding CRM, or they no-show. Okay, if they no-show, put them in workflow C, which is a nurturing sequence to get them rebooked. Or they say, no, not right now. Okay, cool. Workflow D, where we follow up, we automatically follow up with them a month, 2 months down the road, and it keeps nurturing them until they're ready to come back and either buy or just tell us no. So there you have it. That's the 1,000-foot overview of our system. This is how we're putting $1 in, and we're consistently at scale getting anywhere between a 4 to 7x return on cash flow each month. That's just cash. So there's a lot of opportunity with that. We have some clients, and I don't really advertise this too much. You can actually check it out over at authorityincomeaccelerator.com. But you can see over here we have here's another one, Ecom Woody. He's in the ecom space. He went from 5K a month to 154K a month. Sean Solano, he is getting the most ridiculous returns on his ad spend. Check this out, 80x return on ad spend. Spent $1,400 on ads, made 115K in revenue. So he's getting, that's just revenue. I believe his cash was that month was like 54. So he's getting about a 50x return on ad spend. And I don't really market this too much because I don't want you guys coming into my program with wrong expectations. But we've helped a lot of clients really like dial this in. Javi and Clarissa, we helped them go from, they were doing like 0 to 4K a month. They had some businesses in their past, but they're crushing it. You can see 4K on ads, 45K cash collected. I'm not going to go on all the details on that. I'm just showing you like this system right here is what works the best, and it's what's crushing it for our clients. So I want to give you a couple takeaways. If there's one thing you should remember from this video, it's focus breeds success. Now, I want you to, after this video, do 2 things. 1, develop your chosen strategy and go all in and just be focused on that, and you'll see the transformation come through. But you have to stay focused on one. The best thing I ever did was when I got started, because I was all over the place, is I wrote a contract to myself and saying for 3 months, I'm going to just do this and I'm going to perfect this one thing. And I wrote that contract, put it up on my computer, and I just focused on it all day, every day. Best thing I ever did in my life. And as you go through here, the journey is not going to be easy. I want to make sure I set these expectations up front. I'm a very straightforward type of person. It's going to be really hard, just being real with you, but it's worth it, because would you rather work at McDonald's? If you'd rather work at McDonald's, you probably should do yourself a favor. Just stop watching these videos, stop watching YouTube videos, and just go flip some burgers and some fries, So with that being said, honestly, just max out one strategy before moving on and just be consistent. That's literally what it comes down to. So in conclusion, there you have it. This is what the strategy is that we're using right now in our marketing and sales. It's crushing it. This is how the whole omnipresence myth, thanks to Grant Cardone, has been shattered. And the path to mastery has been illuminated and the power focus strategy revealed. So this is the strategy. I used a little fancy last conclusion there because I thought that would wrap it up and make it sound a little bit better. But as I was saying that, it sounded a little bit too complex. Because that's one of the things I've realized in marketing, to be honest with you as well, is you need to speak to your audience like an 8th grader. Not saying that you guys are an 8th grader, but that's how you need to speak to people so they can interpret things. We'll cover that more in a future video on like how how we speak in our ads and who like how we're writing that stuff up to an eighth grader. But just remember at the end of this, guys, like your journey through your business is going to be different than mine. It's going to be different than your friends. It's going to be different than the other person you see online, but all the principles remain the same. And that's why these five frameworks that I'm sharing with you, I could have went into like a how-to type of thing for everything, but I want to share you the frameworks of how to build this so that these five frameworks can be something that will last with you for a very long time and can still be they can still be necessary, 5, 10, 15 years down the road. So I mentioned I have two things for you. One, as I mentioned, was get started on this, max out one strategy, figure out what that is, write it down, sign a contract with yourself if you need to, whatever works. And then number two is if you are a coach or consultant and you're already doing over 10K a month, you have the chances of being a perfect fit with our system. And when you're a perfect fit with our system, we help people explode, kind of like Javi and Clarissa right here. That's getting spent 4K on ads and made 45K cash collected. They're hitting 100K months. Same thing with Sean Solana. We haven't updated this in a minute, but last time I talked to him, he did 100K month. Same thing with Ecom Woody, 5K to 154K a month. If you really want to break this down, there's a video here showing you like the start of Ecom Woody. Right here was when he had a marketing agency. You can see the big dip. That's when we started working with him. We're really good at what we do. And that's why I'm saying if you have a proven offer, we don't work with complete beginners. So if you're watching this and you're a complete beginner, your best bet is just continue watching my YouTube videos until you build a business where you actually have a legit offer. And the reason I'm saying this is because we only want to work with people that have a legit offer and it's proven that and they've sold it to people, because that's how this system works the best. It doesn't work the best with newbies. It works the best with people that have a proven offer and are serious about growth and that have the funds to invest, just being straight up with you. So if that's you and you're serious and you want some more information, I always leave the current price on the link down below where you can book a call. Click there, check out price. If the price makes sense for you, then schedule out a call and get on the call with us. Again, the reason I put the price there is because I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my sales team's time as well, or my time if I hop on these calls, because we're getting a jam-packed calendar, like I mentioned, every single day. We don't have a client acquisition problem, and I want to share with you how to do this the right way. So if the price makes sense for you and it's something that you want some more information on, click the link down below. You'll either be speaking with me or someone on my team that has been with me for a very long time and can properly explain all this. So with that being said, I've got the next video coming out. It'll be down below, and I'll see you in there.